Hi everybody, my name's Alicia and I'm the Seint artist in this group. So I've been posting plenty of stuff about Seint. It's an amazing makeup system. I've been a makeup artist now for over 10 years. I was a model before that, so I've had so much makeup on my face over the years, and I've never found something I like better than Seint. And actually, I have super sensitive skin, so one of the things I really like about this makeup is that it's great for sensitive skin. It doesn't make me break out. Unlike most other things on the planet. And so I actually have this really bad breakout happening right now because I ran out of my good detergent and my husband used the stuff with all the scents in it and used it to wash our masks. And I had to wear this mask and it completely broke my skin out. Everywhere that the mask touched, it was like boils. So it's horrible. So I was actually thinking about not even coming on and doing the live today and just putting a video in. And then I thought, you know what, this is what it's all about anyways. We've all got to deal with maskne from time to time. We all look for good makeup in the best of times and the worst of times, right? So I figured I would just come on here anyways and show you, even with my terrible breakout and my boil that's like at the worst stage ever. So I have 7 children. My husband and I have 7 children. Very busy mama. I do not have time to play with makeup like I used to. And I used to take like a giant suitcase on jobs. I had so much makeup in this house and I wasn't partial. I used all the different things, mostly Sephora brands, and loved the store and everything, but it can be pretty overwhelming for people sometimes, right? Trying to go and choose the right products and know what you want to wear and how to wear it. A lot of us spend way too much money on makeup and then it sits in a drawer, in a bag, collecting dust and expiring. So this is an amazing system that eliminates all of that for you, because what we do is we custom match you to, so I as your artist would custom match you to your perfect shades that are going to suit your skin tone perfectly. So that you don't have to guess and try to choose one foundation that's going to blanket your whole face. There's so many problems with traditional foundation. One of them would be the texture. When you're trying to cover something like this, for example, a lot of things just make texture worse. Fine lines and wrinkles when we're over 30, over 35, over 50, 55. I'm 35. And I find that makeup just doesn't sit on my face the same way it did in my 20s. And so a lot of times you put makeup on to cover stuff like this and end up with new problems, creating texture, creases, and wrinkles, and so on. And so this is really beautiful, dewy cream foundation that just looks amazing on every skin tone and type. And the other thing about it is that we're not matching you to just one foundation shade like you would normally do with a liquid foundation. In that case, you're trying to find one color that's going to match all of your skin. And the problem with that is that we have so many different tones in our skin. So a lot of times we have these pigments we don't want with acne and dark circles and things like that. But the natural skin has a lot of beautiful colors in it, more than one. So when you try to match your entire face to just one color, you lose all that luminosity, but you also lose all that dimension in your face, where all of a sudden you're just changing your skin to have only one color on it, which completely flattens it out. And you're either gonna have to go with a darker shade, which often ends up looking kind of mask-like because your neck is often lighter than your face in that case, or you're going lighter and you're kind of blanketing the face in a lighter color and making the face appear wider. When we highlight something and make it brighter and lighter, it makes it come forward and become more prominent. So that can be great. But if you're basically highlighting your entire face with a shade that's a little too light for you, that makes the entire face seem very wide and almost like a moon face type effect. So most people don't want that either. And coming from a really pale girl, that has always been a problem for me, because then you have to go in with technique and with different products and try to contour the face and add that dimension and that sculpt back in and layer foundation and products over products, which can then create texture, right? So then it's this cycle that we don't want. So this makeup is made to go on in just one layer, which is fantastic. Every now and then we have to layer a little bit extra if we have areas that need extra coverage, like this is going to need. But for the most part, you just need to put it where you want it and then you blend it all together. So there's no need to apply tons and tons of product. So that's fantastic. And this is very concentrated. So a little goes a long way and you do not want to use a lot. Okay, so you can take your fingers or a brush like this. This is called the multitasker brush. And you can go in and just define the face, I like to start with contour. So I'm going to start with my contour. Contour is often very scary for a lot of people. The biggest reason is because usually contour is a powder, and usually we wear liquid foundation. So what happens when you put a powder over top of a liquid is it sticks to it, right? And it's not going anywhere. It's going to be patchy and dirty and look muddy, and it's going to be very hard to blend. So that's scary in itself, right? And it seems really dark, which I totally understand. That can really scare people. But don't worry, because this is all one texture. Everything is cream. So it's all going to blend really beautifully together, and you don't have to worry so much about it looking scary in the end, I promise. But I am going to look ridiculous before it's blended, so just a warning. I'm going to do the nose too. Like I said before, anything that's light and bright comes forward and becomes more prominent. So here's a quick little lesson on contouring for you here. The area that you want to come forward on your nose, you don't necessarily want it to be super wide, right? So I like to draw these lines pretty close together on my nose. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because look, if it's crooked or anything like that, you can literally just move it with your finger. So no big deal. Just slap it on if you want to. And I like to keep just this very small line down the center, bright, with my brightening shade. So I have two different highlights here. So this replaces your foundation entirely. You don't layer this over top of foundation, because this is your foundation, okay? So we've got two shades. We've got one darker shade that's gonna match the majority of your skin and give you more coverage for things like this that are like really needing it, right? And that's, the darker shade is good for coverage because you want to match the level of pigment with a darker color. If you just go lighter, it's just going to tint it, and you're going to need more and more product, which we don't want. So I'm just kind of dotting that around where I want it. I will put some here, but I'm not going to put too much, because I'm going to go over that in the end, because that's a doozy. All right, then I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some brightening highlights. So I added some right down to the center of my nose. I'm going to just extend that line down the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to do a loose triangle under my eyes, just kind of dotting that around. Do you like my sound effects? You can tell I'm a mom, right? Okay. So the brightening shade is basically just like in a rough diamond shape. Okay, we've got our contour everywhere that we want to sculpt and define, and you can go crazy with the contour. Don't wear too much of the highlight, but you can put quite a bit of contour on without it being as crazy as you think. You can also put your contour in your brows to sculpt and define those brows. If your brows fell victim to the 90s, like mine did, late 90s, early 2000s, when it was really cool to pluck out all our eyebrow hair. Yeah, I did that, and it never grew back. So if you're not a microblader, you can basically fake it with contour. And we also have a really great brush for that you can use as well. This one here is the line brush, and you can draw those strokes in with one end and then fluff it with the other end. So I've labeled my demo here at 5-minute makeup, but obviously with me gabbing and so on, it's not going to take only 5 minutes, because I've already spent more than that. But I promise you, I do this in 5 minutes. And you can imagine it once you see what I'm doing here. So then I take a brush. There's lots of different brushes you can use, and we have tons. This is one of my favorites. It's the blush and bronzer brush. And if you're a bronzer girl, you can get this under collections on my website with the bronzer and save $15. So you basically get the bronzer for $5, because it's normally a $20 bronzer. I can show you the bronzer after, because it's fantastic. So this is a great brush to use, or the one that typically people will get when they want to do their entire face and not have to use more than one. Because they're all really good, and there's lots of brushes. But if you just want one to start with, this is a really good one. It's called the 3D brush. So it's got, all the brushes are double-ended brushes. And it's got this kind of pointy, narrow end on one side, which is great for getting into the nooks and crannies here. I'm cheating and using my mirror because I can't see on my phone very well. So I like to get in there and blend those highlights, and then turn it around and I'll do my contours. And you can do this in any order. There's no rules. You don't have to do the highlights first or the contours first. It's just whatever. But I will pick one or the other to do and then do the other. Okay, so you can see it blending really well already. It's like butter. And I turn it around, blend out my contour. So this is amazing because it's all in one place. So no more like rifling through your bag and trying to get all the products out and lining up your lipsticks and trying to figure out which one you want, because your entire face can fit in this one little palette, or you can get yourself a palette that's bigger and you can have more options for lip and cheek colors. All of our lip and cheek colors, as I'm going to show you, are good for both lips and cheeks. So they already multitask quite a bit, but you can mix things together. And everything is accessible in one palette. So a lot of times when people start out with Seint, they just want to get the basics first and see how they like it. And then they become very quickly obsessed and want to add to their palette later. So I usually recommend you get these 4 things first: 2 highlights, 1 contour, and 1 lip and cheek color. And then you can always add to it. So my personal palette is this one here. I'm not done blending yet. This is my palette that I use the most. And this has 12, it can fit 12 of these larger tins. They're magnetic palettes, so you can interchange things. If one of them is almost out, like this one is, use it all up, and then you can just pop it out and replace only the thing that you need. So you don't have to replace your entire palette, which is fantastic, because how many of us have bought palettes from stores before and only used 1 or 2 things until they hit the pan? And then if you want to replace that one thing, you have to buy the whole palette, right? Okay, so you can see it all blending out here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of detail work. Normally this would be it, but I think if you have extra situations going on like I do today, you might want a little extra love. So I'm gonna go back in with my multitasker brush here and my darker highlight color, and I'm just going to dab a tiny bit of extra coverage where I want it, and only where I want it, because I don't want cakey makeup. I just want nice, luminous, skin-like makeup. And these little guys, I do not want them distracting me. Now we can play with some fun stuff. So we can add our lip and cheek color. In this little palette, I've chosen Royal because it's almost fall. Can't believe it's almost fall. And Royal is, to me, a beautiful fall color. So this is Royal here, and this is a gloss. All of our lip and cheek colors, they come in different finishes, satin or gloss. And the glosses are really beautiful. They look a little scarier, some of them in the pan, but because they're sheer, they're a lot more subtle than you would think. And they all have buildable coverage. So that's Royal, and I just think it's a beautiful fall color. And then you can also put it on your cheeks. So put some of that on my cheeks. So oftentimes I like to mix and match. I will blend 2 lip and cheek colors together, or I might put 1 color on my cheeks and 1 on my lips. But this is a really great one to have in your collection, and I think it's fantastic in the fall. It's a beautiful color. Now, if you did want to do any of the extra fun things, Bella bronzer is amazing. It's the best bronzer I've ever used. And I didn't really love bronzer before, to be honest, because I'm quite pale and I have cool toned skin. So most bronzers would look pretty orangey on me, and a lot of times they were kind of like a weird glittery finish, a little bit gaudy in my opinion, so orange and kind of shimmery, which was not my thing. This is a matte bronzer. It goes on really silky and beautiful. And it does give warmth to the face because the sun is going to give you some nice warmth. Unlike a contour, right? A contour gives you shadow where the sun doesn't shine, whereas a bronzer gives you warmth where the sun does shine. So there is a difference between the two, in case you're wondering. And I like to just put this bronzer more on the top part of my face where the sun would be shining, but still kind of take it around the perimeter to keep that brightening in the center prominent, but it just gives a really beautiful glow, and it is buildable. So I'm not going to apply very much today, but you can add more and more if you want to look really tanned. But I just like how it gives me a nice, pretty glow. And I know I'm going to appreciate that in fall too, when my skin starts to go super, super white on days that I just want to keep a little more summer on my face. So that's bronzer. And I do often take that down my neck as well, so that I don't have like a line from my neck to my face. So that's fun to play with too. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is my illuminator, which is amazing. Illuminator is my friend. Illuminator is just designed to catch the light. So it gives you this beautiful candlelit glow, and you put it along the top points of your face. So along your cheekbones. I'm keeping it away from this pimple because I don't want it to catch the light on areas of texture like that, because it will accentuate the texture on there where it's raised. So don't want to do that, but I am just putting it along the smooth parts of my face that I would like to catch the light. And it just adds that extra dimension, extra glow, and just looks really beautiful. Okay, so that's the cream illuminator. This is rose gold. We also have a powder illuminator if you like a little bit more pop and you like a little bit of shimmer. And those are beautiful too. This is called Glamazing. And this does give a lot more punch. You can tell as soon as I put it on. So you want to blend that out. And it's funny because when I first started with Seint, I thought, oh, I'll wear the powders more as like, you know, date night and an evening out, or maybe to a wedding or something like that. And it's hilarious because I love these so much. This is called Glamazing, and it just like makes my day. When I wear it, I feel so good. And so I'll be like homeschooling my kids with my hair in a big top knot, not done at all, and like sweatpants on and everything, but I'll have my Glamazing on and just be feeling like $1,000,000. And there is something to being able to do your makeup in 5 minutes. Even over the course of this pandemic, it's just been amazing to me how good it makes me feel and how much more myself I feel being able to do my makeup, slap it on, even if it's only for a few minutes. And it just transforms my look and makes me feel good. It makes me feel like myself. I'm adding that to my lips. You can do that as well, and it will add some shimmer. But again, a little goes a long way, so that, I feel like that was a little too much. Here's my palette that I was showing you before, and see how I like to add a couple of different lip and cheek colors to play with. So a shade like Plum is kind of a matte and it's cool. So that's great for one day. And then you can add something like Hollywood, which is a bit more of a warm pink. It's really pretty. And sometimes you might want to wear one or the other or mix them together. So that's really fun too, just to be able to have some different options. And like I said, they're all also cheek colors. So you can use the excess on your cheeks. And it's really pretty. So Seint is just amazing. It's this revolutionary system. Not only is the texture and the quality of the makeup amazing, it's also just fantastic for all of the endless possibilities. It's a great multitasking system. If you are interested in getting yourself your own palette, please let me know and I will go through the steps with you of how to get a color match done. That post is coming in this group, but if you want to jump the gun and get started, I'm really happy to help you. I just get a selfie of you with no makeup. You saw me, so I can see you, I promise. It doesn't go anywhere other than me. And I need that just to assess those beautiful colors in your face and figure out what your very best options for shades are for yourself, because these are very pigmented colors. And so just looking on the website is not going to help you very well to choose your own colors. And so that is another benefit of Seint, is that you get your own makeup artist in your back pocket who helps you with all of your options. And I also have a group full of tutorials and videos and tips and lots of help. So you're never alone with this, and it's quite fun. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I would be very happy to help. Okay, bye.